And jazz hands. And we're live. At least it says we are. So anybody that's here already, which I don't know if anybody is just yet, but if you are, welcome.
Yeah, send us a little message. Let us know if you can see us, because we never know at the beginning.
Yeah. We're just checking our phones right now to make sure.
Personally, mine says waiting. So.
And mine's not cooperating just yet.
So happy Sunday. How was everyone's week? Ours was kind of uneventful again.
Yeah, for the most part, uneventful.
Yeah, there we
go. All right.
Get out our notes.
Got our notes ready. We're live.
We're good to go.
We're good to go. We're trying Restream today. And
yeah, despite me not loving the name of it, it's a pretty good program.
Yeah, well, I believe so anyway. It right now it shows that we're on YouTube, but it doesn't show us on Rumble. So I'm hoping that's going to correct itself.
So doesn't this show us on Rumble here?
Yeah, it does. But if I go to Rumble's site, it doesn't. Okay. So I'm not too sure, but hopefully.
Okay, so
there we are. We know it's working.
All right, we're on 2 platforms.
Yes.
We've tried Facebook a few times with no success. So
yeah, I kind of gave up on that.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing something wrong. So okay, looks like we're good. We're broadcasting on YouTube and Rumble, so everything should. If you are watching us from one of those platforms, should be all good to go. I think it's a nicer day, so we might have a smaller audience today, but hopefully we get a few people on.
Yeah, hopefully it's a nicer day where you are. We had a decent day, but it's starting to cloud over again. So
it was much better in the sense that we actually got outside and got some stuff done. This is our day of running around, but we got home. We actually shot footage for a couple of videos. We went for our small little coffee date.
Yeah.
And got ourselves back in here to hopefully interact with some of you guys. So.
Mm-hmm. And before we get into any interaction, hello, children.
Yes, hi guys. We know you're watching.
Yes, and you remember if we don't say hello, so hello.
We love you very much.
Very, very much.
All right, so just in case any of our regulars pop on, and if they choose to, I'm going to post the link to join us. And if you would like to, go on and
if you're all set up with a camera or a microphone,
yeah,
and you want to chit chat,
come hang out. We haven't tried that yet with anybody. We've only been guests on other people's broadcasts. So if somebody comes on and they want to jump on, you're welcome to.
Mm-hmm. If you have a channel, not likely to be smaller, but if you have a smaller channel and you'd like to advertise, feel free.
The only rule is if we don't know you and you're watching and you want to join us, that's fine. We just want to keep it clean and hopefully have a good chat. Now it looks like we might be buffering on Rumble, but hopefully not. It's hard to tell.
All right, so we continue. Hi, Tracy.
How are you today? And thank you very much for joining us.
Hope you're having a nice day.
So Tracy, I believe, is in a much warmer area than we are, and probably well started on getting her garden ready. Mm. Part of our filming that we did today, Tracy, was actually in our garden.
Finally
in our garden. We, of course, we can't really plant much right now, but we did transplant some bushes and things like that. So they were just. Here things are just starting to bud, just the slightest little green on them. So
yeah, we're in between. Our weather is today was in the teens and tomorrow will be in the negatives. So
yeah, we're up and down like a broken yo-yo. So, but hopefully it won't be too much longer, and we'll get into some decent weather. Usually, once you get halfway through March, you're beyond what What do we have growing in the house? Well, I'll let Cindy take over that.
Well, in the house, I have started tomato and pepper seedlings and all the other things like just eggplant, cucumber. Most things, what I can direct seed, I will, because I think, well, I don't have space for one thing. And for another, it just seems like it's stronger if it starts out in the garden. But I did have a whoopsie this week.
Oh,
yeah. So I was so excited to get some slightly warmer and sunnier weather. I really wanted my seedlings to get some sunshine, real sunshine, because they're getting really leggy in the house and we just don't have enough windows to get the right amount of light. So I put them outside in fairly warm weather. It was quite windy though. And I'd say probably 50% of those died off. They just weren't ready. It was too windy, too cold, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we jumped the gun.
Yeah, but I did it again, kind of. So this time I put them out in the cold frame greenhouse, and so they're protected from the wind. And today they seem to be doing okay. Tonight will be warm enough, but tomorrow will get cold. So tonight I'm going to put them into the guava tree, which will at least keep them a little warmer.
Yeah.
No sunshine.
We get that body heat from the animals in that little barn. So
I have no space in the house, so they have to go.
Yeah, it makes it a little less of a walk to bring stuff in and out that way.
As far as other things, hi John.
Hey John.
As far as other things that are planted, not much yet, but I do plan to hopefully get the greens out in one of the raised beds this week. Like the kale and the spinach.
Get some of that cool weather stuff started. And honestly, I've been looking forward to having some of it again. You get into the end of fall, you don't think much about it, but by the time winter's over, you can't wait to get back into some of that those leafy veg. And of course, you can still get in the stores, but we all know that's not the same. So
yeah. So you're in Ohio, Tracy. What have you got planted so far? And how was your week, John?
Yeah, just a reminder, if anybody does want to pop on, I did post the link. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. As long as we keep it clean, that's all we care. So what else did we do this week? So like we said, we did finally get outside today. It was nice enough we recorded footage for 2 videos instead of just one. So
that's unheard of.
It's nice to get a little jump on things. The weather's been decent enough today to still cool. I won't lie to you, it's still cool, but nice enough to get out and actually do some recording in between the rain. A lot of rain for you too, John? Yeah, I believe it. It's what do we work on? We worked on putting some tree spikes in. So we put a line of you'll see it in the videos anyway, but we put a line of evergreens on the front to hopefully eventually replace the wooden fence as it decays.
We did the whole perimeter, really.
We did.
Well, the majority. And most did okay.
Everything's done well except for the stuff near the ditch, and I don't know if it's just the salt from the road or it doesn't get quite as much sun either because the big wooden fence kind of blocks everything. But just want to kind of get everybody's name up there just so.
We tried to deal with that with some tree spikes today.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I've never used them before, so I'm hoping they work well. And
so Tracy, you have kale coming back and spinach. Very nice. I had some spinach coming back from last year too, but I want to move it this year. So.
It is coming back.
Yeah. It's frozen and wilted again, but it did try to come back.
Yeah. And then we transplanted some blueberries and honeyberries today. Got that done. And I had to transfer some quail eggs that were due to hatch in the next couple of days. So I got those off of the turner and into the incubator so they can hopefully safely hatch and hopefully we get a good hatch. We haven't hatched any quail for quite a while.
A few months.
Yeah, I really do have to redo their cage. Some of the wires starting to rust and break apart, so I need to tear it apart before they get out of a brooder. But if we're lucky, we'll sell most of them off anyway. Hatch some more for ourselves later on after the interest in chicks dies off.
Yeah, because right now the ones we have are giving us a lot of eggs. So
yeah, Yeah, we don't seem to need to replace any right now. So
No, it would just be for the meat.
yeah, exactly.
But we have other things.
Yeah.
Oopsie. So, mention that.
Yeah.
We have a list because otherwise we'd be like,
Yeah, we don't want to go draw a blank, but
I am terrible for drawing a blank. All day long, I'm like, I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to write down. I'm just so confused all the time.
the speaking of meat, I know we've talked about this, but we're down to just 15 days, 16 days,
16 days.
16 days till we get our meat birds.
And our other birds, our turkeys, and
our other birds. Yeah. So that'll be interesting because if the temperatures stay as cool as they are, I have to figure out a place to put all these guys. We usually use totes for brooders, but I think with the quantity of birds we're getting in, I think we'll likely end up having to do a makeshift with plywood in the garage and throw a few good heat lamps at it. I like to use the heat plates these days, the ones that the chicks just go underneath it. They of course use a fraction of the hydro, but I find when you have to be outside in the colder weather, you really kind of need those bulbs.
Yeah, and the plate will only cover so many, so it's a large amount. The heat lamp will cover more. That's
kind of in the back of my mind right now. I got to get that set up.
Yeah. So if we didn't have enough baby chicks coming and hatching, we started a new incubator.
Yeah, get another one.
Yep. We have a new small incubator of the Canadian breasts, the Polish chicks, and a silky. We just have room for one silky egg in there.
Yeah, but as well, around the same time that these chicks are supposed to show up, we also have ducks due to hatch, more chickens due to hatch.
Bunch of rabbits.
Rabbits do. So it'll be a very busy a week when everything kind of in the middle of April. It's going to be quite a busy time for us, getting everything set up, and then we have some appointments aside from that are out of town, and then we have another boy's birthday at the end of that month, at the end of April. So a lot going on next month.
And we have to get dirt.
And we got to get dirt. Yes, we need dirt.
Because we got to do some planting.
Yeah, I need to top up all the raised beds. Well, even the older ones, they've all settled a bit. So we've added some manure, but we need to get some actual dirt in there.
Yeah, that'll be fun to get started. It always seems fun when you start, but then
it
doesn't last long.
Yeah, it becomes you guys all know it's a lot of work.
It is, but I'm really hopeful that the raised beds will make it easier. I don't have to worry about all the weeds growing outside that area. Just keep the weeds down in the raised beds, and because that was overwhelming.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, John. We've never had them before, so actually I've got a question for you. If you know about how long do you keep them on starter before you switch meat birds to actual grower? I was kind of thinking about that today because I know that they grow quickly, but I'm not sure at what point you transition them. So if you know, it'll just save me having to look it up. But
yeah, we're gonna have to get out a lot of waters and feeders.
Yeah, I have to go and get feed, I think sometime this week. So I'm gonna pick up some starter and maybe start getting some grower while I'm there. Picking up all the layer.
Yeah.
Well, we're going through our list pretty quick.
We are, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. What else did we do today?
Groceries.
Yeah. I guess that was it. We got a freebie, which Cindy says I can't eat. I don't even know what it was. Oh, gummies.
No, you say you can't eat.
I say I can't eat. I'm trying to behave. I would eat all that junk up all the time.
You're the one who says I can't eat this, I can't eat that. Okay.
I try to behave myself.
It's not my fault the freebie was something candy related.
Oh, meat bird feed. So that is that different than grower, John? I think I've never heard of just meat bird feed. Maybe we just call it something different here though. But I'll have to. Maybe that's you're right. That maybe that's what they get right from the get go. Back on the pounds and get in my freezer.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to actually getting to the end of it. I look forward to going through the process since we've never done it. We've always had the heritage breeds, which you guys know it. They take all summer and into the fall to really get to a decent size. So, okay, that's good to know, John. Thank you. So it'll be
nice to have that in the freezer and done.
Yeah. I'm thinking we have to start emptying out one of the freezers though.
Yeah, I have 2.5 months to make jam and catch up and all that and get the frozen stuff out.
Yeah, because I have like another 6-7 weeks I have to process rabbits as well. So it's a good problem to have, but
it's busy.
Yeah, busy and takes up room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the pheasant finally got in her box. I was peeking over at the camera that's in the aviary there, and we've been waiting for a pheasant egg today, and the nest box that she usually uses was occupied by about 4
baby silkies.
polkies, actually. Yeah.
Oh yes, those are the polkies.
Hanging out in there.
Yeah, so in there we have the polkies, the pheasants, and the silkies.
Okay, I think that's the same stuff we're thinking about too. Yeah, okay, that's good to know. I'll go right to that, and I'll have to run 2 separate brooders, one for the layers and one for the meat chickens.
Yeah, which is fine because 50 in one is already
plenty. Yeah, that's what I said. I think I'm just going to put a tarp down in the garage and just put up plywood sides and hang some lamps. I think it's about the only way I can do that many at once.
Like a raised bed.
Yeah, a raised bed of chickens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the plan anyway. But where are we here? Seems like, okay, I get it now. The chat goes top down, or the newest is on the top on the display.
Okay.
A little backwards to what we're seeing.
Yeah. So this is a little off topic, but just thinking of all the birds that are in the aviary, the different types, made me kind of think about the brooder we have going in the kitchen. And it's something we realized that, at least with the silkies, the older ones don't pick on the younger ones. We thought they would, and we thought we'd have to do like 2, 3, 4 brooders as we hatch new hatchlings, but they don't. And it's been so nice because you can just put the young ones in, they get along. Hi, Robbie.
On the golf course. Wow. It's probably 80 degrees, I'm guessing, but anyway. Yeah, they don't seem to bother each other, which is great. We can have the different ages and
it makes it a lot easier as we sell off a few and just have 1 or 2 of each group left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get stuck with a lot of them at the end of it. I mean, they're cool little chicks to have, little chickens.
They're nice.
The silky and the polks, they're very friendly, but I mean, the eggs are nothing to write home about, that's for sure. So John's saying hi. This new stream is called Restream. We're giving it a shot. We tried it before, and we had an issue with buffering, but I think it was actually on our end, so we kind of shied away from it. Then we started using the Rumble stream. Now I have a thing I won't pay for. So I'm restricted to what you get for free. Maybe different if we were a large channel and we're making a lot of money and things like that. You don't mind investing back in, but when you're not really making money, of course, to the idea of spending $20 a month or whatever.
Why not?
Yeah, free's good. So this still allows us, like I said earlier, we can have guests and we can stream to, I believe, 2 platforms at once. So we do the Rumble and the YouTube at the same time. The Rumble Studio seemed to work pretty well as well, but we did have a couple fumbles there too. So we didn't we don't trust it.
Okay, I'm gonna use my thing.
That's around 30 degrees.
Oh, let me see.
82. Wow. We're what are we today?
28.
28. So what are we at in
nice.
Fahrenheit today?
In Fahrenheit,
What's our high?
Oh, are we like high of 12 or something?
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah, so we're sitting around 53 for our high today, Robbie. It was a good day to work outside. I had to take my hat off at one point because I was overheating.
yeah, the sun came out and it was nice, and then it clouded over again.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're having good weather. You guys seem to have a pretty short winter, which is, I think that sounds pretty nice.
I want winter to be gone.
It will be soon.
Really?
So we have one chicken. We're going to talk about this too. We have one chicken that likes to roam the yard, and this is one of the chickens that one of our boys hatched. And this thing is always, it flies out of wherever we have it fenced. It just flies out anyway. So we've just let her go wherever she wants, and she's been spending a lot of time now with our our Polish chickens. So she goes in there with them, and she'll hang out for the day, and she'll leave, and she'll go over to the goat barn, which is maybe 30 feet away. She'll lay her egg in there, and then she'll go back. She'll hang out with those guys. So I'm thinking we're going to try hatching a few of her eggs and see what we get. She has a nice light, not light blue, but a nice bluish
Yeah,
egg.
It's got a greenish tinge, but it's bluer.
Yeah. The only reason I don't really want to hatch them, being that she's with a Polish rooster, is I'm not sure what size of egg we'll end up with. We might still have a colored egg, hopefully, but I don't know what they would end up size-wise. So that's my only concern about maybe using that particular combination.
It's worth a try, though.
But since she is hanging out with them, like, she'll literally spend the whole day with them and then just leave to do her thing, lay her egg, and go back. So I'm sure they're fertile. We haven't checked them, but I'm sure they are. So it might be an interesting thing to try. It's just, I'd like to find a light or a blue egg laying rooster to have with her to get some more colored eggs. But we work with what we got, I guess, and see.
We like to experiment.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's nice to have say you've got a certain breed of chicken, but at the same time, sometimes those barnyard mixes give you quite a nice bird. And
yeah, and sometimes they seem hardier, and they just lay through periods where the others won't.
Our first year hatching our own, we used Isa brown hens, which of course you can't breed an Isa brown hen and expect to get the same chicken because they are a hybrid. But the chicks, the hens we got from those birds, they were all so different, but they were all excellent egg layers. They still had that, carried that gene on with them, that they were great for laying.
Yeah, and we got olive layers because we had an Americana rooster.
Yeah, all the eggs were darker green. So
yeah, so during our last egg strike, we still had green eggs coming.
Yeah, that's true. So that was nice, that part of it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. We should try to hatch.
See what we get.
Yeah, and our chicken's name is Lavender, named by our son, and she's black, so I don't know why Lavender, but it's a good name.
Yeah, it works. So we got Robbie on the golf course, and yeah, just making sure we're caught up on all the chat. Mm-hmm. So this seems to actually populate pretty quick. That's one thing I was going to say with the restream. I've noticed the comments seem to come faster when you guys post them, because we always keep the phone ready, because when we were using the Rumble studio, there always seemed to be a slight delay, and they don't seem to get that with this one. So I mean, I guess that's a positive. And the overlay, I think that kind of helps too. Like with YouTube, at least you can see each other's comments, but because we are doing the multiple stream to multiple platforms, I should say, we don't seem to have anybody watching on Rumble. But if there was and they commented, the only way you would see it is with the overlay. You wouldn't see each other's comments in the chat. So it kind of works out nice that way. If anybody's trying to do that same method. But
So what do you guys have coming up this month? I know it's a busy time of year. We feel overwhelmed by all what we have to do.
for April, April's going to be pretty busy just to get started, and then it will be quite busy again once the meat birds are ready to process. But,
and all the garden stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Quail cage and.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to do.
Yep.
So we'll see. It's
Get dirt. We have a new raised bed to fill that we were given. It's wooden.
Yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of those because it's pressure treated, and I like to avoid that if I can. But
it was given, and we can put it to use. I was thinking we can find a spot out back and maybe let the kids have that as their garden instead of where it normally was in the play yard because he doesn't like to cut grass around it. It's inconvenient.
Yeah.
So this would be a
that
good way
and all the
to
toys.
use it.
The toys are very inconvenient too.
This would be a good way to put it to use, and they like having their own little garden spot. I know they can help with ours, sure, but I don't know. I think it's special to have your own spot and accomplish whatever you can there. Hi, guys.
Hi, Donald, Lisa. Just want to mention again, just in case anybody's interested, we did post the link. If you want to join us, that's totally up to you.
Where is that link?
Really? We haven't.
I haven't tried.
I've been looking around trying to find prices for dirt, but I was hoping to get the what do you call it, like the blended three-way type thing where it's got the compost in it, etc. And I haven't been able to find it for sale yet, so I think it's a little too early for us in this area. I can go and just buy in the area like that we live in. The only problem is it's clay pretty much all in this area, and I can go to a place about half hour, 35 minutes from here and get clay soil.
But we already have clay, so we'd like to loosen it up.
That was the point of getting the raised beds, was to try to get out of growing in the clay. So I think the ones that we did use clay in, I think they'll get better quickly because we're putting a lot of rabbit manure and trying to mix it in and break it down faster. Set up.
So why do you think it's hard to find compost so far this year? Just too early, or are there issues getting it in? So we know we've heard a few of you had issues finding chicks this year as well.
Yeah, Cindy was talking about getting some lettuce planted as well, John.
Yeah.
I hope you have pretty good luck with your chicks. You got some nice looking chickens there, so I can't remember what you had for roosters, but I knew you had some pretty nice hens. So I think you'll have a pretty good luck with what you got to work with there. We're in our order of chicks coming next month. We did order I think 2 roosters to go along with the one breed that we're getting in. I can't even think what they're called now, but maybe I can look real quick.
And did we also get Barred Rock rooster to replace ours?
No. I guess, I should have probably ordered one, but I don't know if we needed to at the time.
We considered it.
We did consider it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I ordered 2 of the ivory. It doesn't say the rest of the name on there. They're ivory. I can't think of the. I don't see the order sheet here, so I forget what they called them.
Okay, I'm just gonna catch up while you're trying to find that.
Absolutely.
Tracy says we had a harder winter. Maybe that's it. Yeah, definitely could be. And it did feel like a very hard, long, never-ending winter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Donald and Lisa say maybe chicks around here are $7 plus.
Yeah, that seems fairly
seems-
reasonable. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think
in
here,
store.
yeah.
For the hatchery, it's a better rate, though, right?
Uh,
Because around here, yeah,
well, I
in
wish I
store
knew
it
what
was
to do
about
with
$10 a piece.
I wish I knew what to do with the paper because it had the prices. But I do not see. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now I can talk with confidence. So the roosters we ordered were Ivory Sasso, Sasso, the dual purpose breed. But they're supposed to lay, sorry guys, I'll get my, when I looked it up, it doesn't say on here, but they were a very heavy layer. So I thought I would get a couple of roosters as well to see what we could do with that breed. And they looked like a decent looking bird actually.
Mhm. I'm sure they'll breed well with
But-
the Barred Rock as well if we wanted to hatch those after.
Yeah, but as to what you were saying though, from the hatchery, if you order less than 20 around here, they range from $4.85 to the more expensive is $6.80. So, but if you go, if you look on like the marketplace and things like that, people that are like ourselves that are hatching chicks and selling them, you're paying closer to $10. Let me get caught up.
Yeah. Some of those types, though, you can't get through certain hatcheries. Like, I don't think Silkies and Polish and stuff were on that list.
No, they weren't. So yeah, it depends on what's available to you. I'm glad your birds are laying again, Donald. I'm really shocked because you guys being in Kentucky, I would have thought you'd have like ours are going like knock on wood. Really happy with it. They're giving us
Yeah.
2 flats a day.
Yeah, it was almost like night and day. It was like complete strike almost, and then a couple weeks
Yeah,
later,
they got
we're
their-
giving 60. And we're selling out just as fast.
Oh, hopefully I have better luck this time, John. Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys. Yes, please hit the thumbs up for us. You're not doing the live. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's good to know. And I hope the communion goes well. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Like we got caught up there for a minute, but so yeah, we get because even where'd I put it? Even the turkeys, I think, weren't too crazy of a price that we ordered.
Now I'm hoping these turkeys are friendly. He tells me they are.
Yeah, even the turkeys, they're called an Orlop bronze, but they weren't the most expensive turkey and they weren't the cheapest. They went for $9.70 each. But I think as far as buying turkeys, I think that's pretty reasonable. I will say I've been looking at the marketplace, and I'm really hoping we have a lot of chicks hatch or like a lot of duck or goslings hatch this year because we've got. I think now that I've candled the eggs in the incubator, we're down to maybe 6 goose eggs out of the 10 or 11 we started with. And the one I knew wasn't going to be any good because it had a crack in it. I just hoped I could seal it up, but it didn't work. But the nest out there, which they are still not sitting on, they're just taking turns going in and out. The 2 females are using the same nest, which I wish they wouldn't, but they are. And but they're still not. They spend a few hours on it, but then they're off a lot of the day. So they're not at that point yet where they're staying on it all the time. But last I checked, there had to be 16 to 18 eggs in there. But where I'm going with that story is when I look at marketplace, geese in the area for sale they're going for crazy prices, anywhere from $50 to $100 for one gosling. If you want a mating pair or something like that, you're paying like $100-$150. It's just wow. But same with the turkeys. If you want to buy turkeys that were hatched last year to get your own going, because I don't think they were a year old yet. And same thing, like if you want to buy 1 or 2 or 3, you were talking $100 for one bird. It's just quite crazy. So
even when we bought the goslings, they were about $50 a piece.
Yeah, those ones we bought. So, but I don't know if it's like that everywhere. But that's what you pay here. Of course, it doesn't mean you'll actually be able to sell them. But a guy like me comes along and goes, okay, he'll buy. But my hope is, of course, to be able to.
Well, if nothing else, they grow up out there, and then we have food.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see the wild turkeys. We get them around, not right around our home, but I see them on my way to work quite often. Actually, the turkeys we ordered look a lot like wild turkeys to me. I think they might get a little larger than the wild turkey, but they do resemble. But I think there's some kind of, I think they've actually used the wild birds in the past to breed this particular bronze turkey. So that would explain why they would be
Now,
similar.
Do they fly?
They can.
That's why the aviary then.
Yeah, that's why I want to have it.
So they couldn't be out with the geese or anything.
But I think they can. I think you have to just clip a wing. But even the geese, they could fly out.
Sometimes it seems like they're coming.
I know, they're like an airplane.
Like they're going to clear the fence. Yeah.
The runway's not quite long enough, but yeah, I'm always kind of worried about that. I think once they get past this stage of being quite so hostile here in the spring, maybe we'll try to catch them and trim the one wing a bit so they can at least just go in circles.
And by we, you mean?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd help, but
yeah, once you catch them.
We were thinking the same thing. One of these nights we have to go out, and I said to Cindy, I need your help because I think we need to go out and catch the male pheasants and put some blinders on, or peepers, or whatever you want to call them, because there's one that's kind of beating the crap out of the other two males out there. Physically, it looks fine, but you can see there's definitely a lot of feathers missing on two of the males. There's definitely a dominant in there, so I think we need to put the peepers on. And
this one was hiding the other day.
I noticed earlier when I saw on the camera it was hiding again. So
those shouldn't be so bad, and we do have a bird net. So
yeah, but I'm hoping that from what I read, I haven't ever tried to pick them up. So, but from what I read, they're a lot like a chicken. Once the sun goes down and they perch, they're a little easier to grab. So that'll be on the agenda soon before we get anybody or any hurt birds out there, because I don't really want to have to harvest them right now. Ideally, I'd like to maybe try to sell a couple of them, but we'll see. I have some eggs that I'm incubating, but they're such a dark green that I can't candle them to see if they're fertile or not. Hi guys, thank you for joining us. But that's the hope.
Yeah. It's kind of bird crazy around here.
Well, that's the one thing we have room for. We can't do the big livestock on the piece of property we have because the land just gets beat up too quickly.
Yeah, birds and rabbits. So next month we'll have a bunch of rabbits joining us, hopefully, because you have 2 of the meat rabbits bred, and I might have 4 of the lops bred for pets. It's hit and miss. I didn't see a couple of them for sure, but I'll give them nesting boxes and hope for the best.
Yeah, we actually lost one of our does the other day. I'm not sure what happened to her, but she had 5 babies in with her, but they were fortunately, they must be
just old enough to be
they're eating on their own and things like that. So yeah, it's very strange.
Mm-hmm. But they're doing okay, so that's good.
Yeah, so we'll have to maybe look at replacing. Well, we've got three does still, so it's not like we're in desperate need to keep another one. But
no.
I think eventually we need to find another farm in the area that has some decent rabbit livestock, so we can either do a trade or just get some new blood in. Our bucks are starting to get a little older too, so
yeah, we're hoping that the next litters do really well because it was a rough winter, but now that there's more sunshine and more light in there,
yeah,
we're hoping.
Yeah, exactly. I want to soon start taking the plastic down around the aviary. It kind of seems like a waste because, of course, it's going to be harder to. I don't know if I can set it aside to put it up the same way I took it down again. So I don't want to waste the plastic, but at the same time, it's going to have to come off
Yeah,
eventually
it gets too
anyway.
warm
So it'll get
eventually.
way too warm in there. It'll be like a greenhouse. So that'll be on the list of to-dos. Take all that off and let the air flow in there again.
Mhm.
But
If spring ever comes.
eventually, maybe in August sometime. No, kidding. It should. This year is a little different than normal, but I expect it'll probably be one of those things where we have a. Unfortunately, I don't know about you guys, but in this area, it seems like you really just have two seasons. You have winter and summer, is what it feels like. Sometimes you just kind of bypass fall and spring, depending on the year. It's like either you go from being chilly to being extremely warm,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
I looked at the forecast and I see the next few days are in the minuses, and it's just depressing.
Yeah, I would be happy with about 20 degrees all the time, 20 degrees Celsius. So what's that? 70, say it's 72 Fahrenheit. I would be content year round that temperature. Perfect for working in. You know, you can throw your shorts on still. It's water might be a little cool some days still, but
Some people will put their shorts on no matter what.
yeah, you still see that even in the wintertime. It'd be minus 20 outside, people wearing their shorts and a sweater. I never understood it, but
Could be an ice storm. You'll see that one guy in some parking lot somewhere.
true. Very true.
I don't think I almost never wear shorts. It's never that hot for me.
My legs aren't that nice. But I definitely find it hot enough. I don't have an issue there. I think I'm a little more cold-blooded or something. I warm up faster than you do. I don't know.
Hi, Liz.
Liz, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. At least that seems to be how it works between us, right? I seem to get warm faster than you do.
Yeah, it's never warm enough for me.
Yeah, I think this is the first year that I think we've actually had a spring in quite some time. It seems like last year it was winter, and then we even got planting
Yeah,
in
that's
April.
true.
Like it got warm fast last year. Although I don't want another year like it has, like the last 2 years. It was nice in the sense that it was warm fast and it was quite warm, but we also had those strange storms that we never had before, where the whole like big sections of the part of the province just flooded, including our yard, which the 11 years we've been here, the first 9 weren't an issue, and then all of a sudden the last 2 years, it floods to the point where it closes like a major highway near us. It's just
Yeah, and that's after the drainage ditch was
yeah,
installed.
that's
If it wasn't, then yeah, we'd be swimming.
yeah. You'd like it hotter. Well, yeah, I understand that. I guess maybe for you guys it's a little different, but 70 years, it's nice.
I don't know I don't know any of these conversions.
Cindy will disagree. She's going to look at this chart.
Okay, so
she printed out.
This is
A
right,
conversion
21
chart.
degrees. It's comfortable. It's nice.
Right, she printed herself a conversion chart. So when we're chatting back and forth and we talk Fahrenheit, we can just quickly look and see what that is in our.
I said I was going to. And right before the live, I did.
Yeah.
I'm going to laminate it.
Yeah, so we're going to keep it handy. So every time we talk about the weather, which
Weather is an important thing when you homestead.
it's true.
Yeah.
But when in a few months from now, when everybody's saying it's 104, because I don't know what that is for us, but we get up there too, not usually to 104, but we do get close to 100 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So, but 70 for me is, I don't know, that's my work temperature. I don't mind being outside. You don't break a sweat as badly, although I like working outside today, and I still had to take my hat off and let my head breathe.
Well, digging holes.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Yeah, when it gets to be around 20, I won't see him anymore.
Well,
It's
lots of stuff to do. Lots of stuff.
There's always lots of stuff, yeah.
I guess we went right through our list.
Yep.
Yeah. So we talked about everything going on, our projects. We are seeing a lot more robins around now, which is awesome. That's our telltale sign here.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that, well, I didn't want to interrupt the filming, but when I was filming you planting the trees, I could hear all these birds chirping.
Yeah, it's nice. It's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, we're supposed to get more rain tonight too, Robbie, but not storms, I don't think.
No, I don't
hope.
think. Tonight's supposed to be warm and rain, and then tomorrow hits the negative temperatures again.
Actually, I lied to you. I just glanced over at my phone, and we do have a thunderstorm watch for the area tonight.
So watch is hit and miss.
Yeah, may or may not hit us.
I like how the weather forecast covers everything. Like they'll tell us it's going to be, sunny with a 90% chance of rain.
Yeah, they cover the gamut to make sure they don't have to worry. But yeah, we like we said, we literally printed out a cheat sheet, so when we have our conversations, we can just quickly scan over. We're going to laminate this. We're going to keep it handy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because yeah, you're right. It does make a big difference because you never know who you're talking to. Sometimes it could be in Europe or because I guess it's really mostly that I can think of. It's mostly just the U.S. that uses the Fahrenheit anymore. I think a lot of the Commonwealth or whatever you want to call the other areas, a lot of them are Celsius, I believe. Yeah. But
I'm like all mixed up. I do pounds and inches.
I'm just going to say,
centimeters.
When it comes to measurements, I tend to use the imperial system, even though it changed when I was in school, right? So when I remember being in public school, and there was that transition between imperial and metric, and you had to learn both. But I still day to day use, inches, feet, whatever. If I'm driving, I think in kilometers, but or like as far as distance goes. But as far as measuring, I still use the imperial. And if I happen to be jumping on a scale, I prefer to think in pounds. Somebody tells me how many kilograms something is, and I kind of go, I know there's like 2.2 kilograms in a pound, but still, you don't want to have to do the math all the time. You had a bad storm already, John? Sorry, I'm just kind of catching up on the. I'm clicking away, but I'm not actually getting a chance to focus on a lot of what's being said.
Well, hopefully the storms this time won't be as destructive as the last go round. That was horrible.
Yeah, we did see a lot of that in the news. We've had some really strong winds, but that's been about the extent of it. No heavy precipitation, which is good.
Mm-hmm. And we always have more wind here than
it's always
town nearby.
It's always very windy here.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about that when I built the flagpole. I was worried that it wouldn't be strong enough, but it's held up very well. So.
But we can really easily have those greenhouses that are tarped off and stuff like that.
No, I think it would just even the greenhouse we have for the cold frame. It's wood and glass, and I still used T-posts in each corner, drove them in the ground just and attach it to the frame because I didn't want to take a chance that it wouldn't get caught in the wind.
Yeah, so he doesn't use his drone very much because of the wind.
No, I have a drone, and I would love to get some more aerial footage, but it doesn't handle the wind here very well at all. It's not an expensive drone, and maybe that's the difference. I've watched Donald get his out, and it does a fantastic job filming above the trees and things like that. And mine, if I ever tried that, I'd have to go down to my neighbors and ask to get it because it would just be gone. It would just take off on me, so I don't even try anymore. But I do think it matters which drone you get. I've been kind of doing some research, and a lot of them have built-in, they correct themselves and things like that. So I mean, but again, you have to be willing to spend the money.
Yeah. And I just got him that drone as a gift, and I didn't even know if he wanted a drone. So it was going to be a starter model.
And that it was.
Hey.
No, it's neat to try, but I like to think it's not me. Maybe it is me.
Well, now he knows he likes a drone. Hello.
Hello,
Thanks for
Sammy
joining
Joe.
us.
How's the weather today in Nova Scotia? But yeah, so I'll probably try to get it out again sometime, but I just find it's not made for the wind that we get here. I'd like to have one that follows you too. Like, I think those are just cool. And I know those DJIs, you can get some nice ones that'll track you and things like that. And I think that'd be really handy for filming. But,
Yeah. But now you know.
now I know.
You know you like a drone, so you can look out for the one you want.
Yeah, and I'll look at it and I'll go, wow, that's way too expensive.
That is what he does. Yes. See
Well,
you later.
thank you for
at
dropping
Oyster
in.
Road.
Yes. We'll see you guys in a while. Yeah, so you'll notice that when I did the banner this time, guys, I just did everything in Eastern Standard Time just so it wasn't so confusing. But people will have to do their own conversions. So I will put that back up just to make sure. Now I'll just remind everybody that the wild huckleberry isn't going to be. Where did I put that? There it is. Wild huckleberry isn't going to be going live today because they have a communion to be at. Getting cold. Yeah, it's cold here too.
Getting colder tomorrow.
Yeah, we have a few more cold days coming. I don't think we'll have to turn the heat on the water systems out there for the critters, but
frozen water's so annoying.
I think that part will be okay. But I hope. But just because it'll warm up enough during the day, I think, or maybe not even tomorrow. Is it supposed to get?
Tomorrow midday, I think it's supposed to hit like -1.
So it'll still be below freezing, even though during the day. So
yeah, it's kind of funny because overnight, when it's supposed to get the coldest, you think it's still going to be in the teens or the double digits. But tomorrow is when it really cools down for the next 2 or 3 days.
That's true. So a few more minutes to chat with everybody here.
Yeah,
and then we have to.
Turnout.
So once the end of the hour comes out, or finishes, we're going to take off to. Actually, we have to run outside. And I have to check for eggs again because I not to brag, Donald, but our chickens are laying so well that I found today I made the mistake of waiting too long because you know how all your chickens. It doesn't matter how many boxes you have. It's like if there's a chicken in there, they all want to.
That's the place to be.
That's the box you want to be in, right? And I waited too long today, and there were so many eggs building up in a couple of these boxes that it wasn't rolling out. It was full, and then between that and the birds climbing over each other, there was I think about 3 damaged eggs that we had to set aside to feed our dogs. So bad on me. I should have got out there and tried to stay on top of it, but
it doesn't go to waste.
No, we mix it in with our dog food and stuff like that, so the dogs get that extra little protein too. But so I got to run out and get the last of whatever eggs before the end of the day here, and then Cindy's wants to get her plants put in because
I have to run out and put the plants from the greenhouse into the quavetry where it's a little warmer instead of dragging them back into the house because early tomorrow morning is when it starts to cool off. So there's no point in leaving it out till tomorrow.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just the cold frame doesn't stay warm enough yet, so it's fine during the day, but not in the evenings.
Well, I'm just happy not to have to bring it all the way back to the house every tray. It's much easier to just walk to the guava tree and
Yeah.
have it there.
Yeah, it's only maybe 25 feet as opposed to walking clear across the yard with these trays. Yeah.
It's a nice feeling to have your chickens lay.
Well, you feel like you start getting that reward, right? I mean, it's nice to. We don't eat a lot of our chicken eggs, ironically, because we focus more on using the quail eggs for everything we need, or the duck eggs, because they don't sell the way the chicken eggs do. And lately, this past week, the last 2 weeks, we must have sold probably 20 flats or more. Probably more than that.
Yeah.
And which is nice, because all of a sudden, all my tracking sheet is starting to, instead of constantly going further in debt as far as how much we spent on everything, it's really starting to recoup quickly. So my hope is that we were talking about this morning. My hope is that we'll sell enough eggs to cover the cost of purchasing our meat birds and feeding them this year, so that 50 chickens that we're buying for the freezer, hopefully that'll all be paid for indirectly by selling the eggs, and of course the labor that we're putting into that, so that you kind of feel like you're getting something more back out of the work you're putting in.
Mm-hmm. The sales have been going good. We had one flat this morning, and that was already pre-sold. Now we have another one ready, but
Fortunately, we haven't had to turn anybody away, but we've been barely keeping up with the
because of some big orders.
So ironically, this is kind of funny talking about eggs. From what I've been hearing on the news and stuff, is this thing, at the border between Canada and the USA, they're not finding so much in terms of drugs these days, but I guess they're finding a lot of people trying to take eggs and chickens across. Which
more eggs than fentanyl.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't try it if I had somebody on the other side that was interested, but I don't think the whole thing's just kind of funny to me. But I guess they're kind of like gold right now. But yeah, I can't imagine trying to take.
How many eggs can you smuggle though?
Well, I guess you could put a lot of eggs in your trunk, but.
Well, yeah, but that's not exactly well hidden.
No, if they suspected anything, I guess, off your trunk, and there's 20 flats of eggs. It's kind of funny. Contraband, yeah. Anything to declare? No. But or chickens, like, you imagine trying to take chickens across. What was that chirping sound? Nothing, sir. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But what are we at for time here?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. It is way better than drugs, right? Like, that's
I imagine less profitable, but way better.
It makes me giggle, but in a good way. I mean, I don't know what the prices are like just over in Michigan, but from what I've heard, stories I've heard, some of the people on these chats talk about I guess if you can save a few bucks, why not?
I get that they're expensive in certain places, but I still don't see it being worthy of smuggling.
No. Well, I'm assuming that people maybe don't see it as smuggling, right? You're probably going over to visit family and go, well, I'll take them some eggs because
Yeah, or somebody comes here and does some grocery shopping and takes eggs back.
Yeah. Eggs this way. In the stores, if you go to Walmart or someplace like that, it was what, $3.69 or $3.89 last time we looked.
Yeah.
At the road stands, we sell ours for $5 a dozen, and
more often $10 a flat.
Everybody wants them flat, so $10 a flat, and that seems to be, if you look anywhere in the area at the people that are selling, that seems to be the price. You can get them cheaper sometimes, but they're not. They're white eggs. They're not the brown eggs, or they're.
And certain people want brown. I don't know if that feels more farm fresh to them, or.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. We have one older gentleman that comes maybe once every what, 3 or 4 weeks,
Yeah.
and he'll get a hold of Cindy ahead of time and say, I'm going to be in the area. I want 3 dozen brown eggs. Very specific. Brown doesn't want the green eggs in there. He doesn't want the blue eggs. He wants brown eggs.
Yeah. They're so nice. Such good customers. They give
Yeah.
me so much notice.
Yeah. So we always pick out the larger eggs for them. And because of the fact that the other thing nice about these people is that even though they're ordering 3 dozen, they want 3 dozen. They want to pay for the $5 a dozen. They don't want a flat. It's like, okay, well, that's good. So I think the only thing that we have to do now is we were talking about we need to find a source for some more flats because we're not getting as many returned to us empty flats as we need. So
yeah, we had bought boxes upon boxes of flats from another farm, but we've got 1 box left. So.
yeah, so I have to find either a source at a reasonable price. I hate to have to buy them new because of course that cuts into your profit. Same as the quail eggs. Like by the time we buy the little cartons for the quail eggs, I think the cheapest I can get is still like 25 cents a piece or something like that. It all cuts into your profit. So, but I suppose we should let everybody get back to what they were doing, finishing up outside in this beautiful day. Hopefully it's nice where you are.
Yeah, actually, I think the sun's peeking out again.
Yeah, it's actually trying to, which is good. We can get our little bit of work done before we have to head out and go pick up the kiddos.
Yeah, it seems to be the going rate.
Yeah, so it's even across the country, it's still about the same price. That's good. That's good. Yeah, because some of the stories you read with our friends in the States, those prices are hard to imagine.
Mm-hmm. It seems to vary a lot from state to state.
Yeah, I kind of expected the worst here too with this bird flu flare-ups here and there, and they tend to want to go in and kill the flocks. I mean, it's almost like they're setting it up to cause those prices to go up. So anyway, guys, I can babble forever, but I won't do that to you. So I hope you come back next Sunday and join us again at 4 p.m. I did put the lineup on the ticker on the bottom. Reminder that Wild Huckleberry is not doing their live today, but Money Pit will be on in an hour from now. And I'm sure that Dyer Family Farm and the Red Dirt Rooster Road will also be doing theirs tonight if anybody's interested in jumping on some more lives. And of course, you might see us there. We're going to try to support as always. Thank you very much, John. Really appreciate the fact that you're always popping in and supporting us, bud. And we'll catch you all next time.
See you next week.
Let me see if I can. There we go. See you in our next stream. Stay tuned. They even, for free, they even give us these pre-planned out messages.
Oh, nice.
Wow. All right. We're going to end the stream.